let's go back and let's talk a little bit about Jerry Seinfeld. And as it turns out, the show was not about nothing. I mean, it never was about nothing.
It could never be, right?
Could never be about nothing. It was about nothing that was interesting to journalists. It was about nothing that was interesting to anybody other than a comedian. If you want to really say what's so,
Right.
comedians find these little cultural ticks and isms and sayings and, where cliches, where if you say something, everybody gets it, and it was just amazing, how it was a little bit like what Archie Bunker and Michael Stivic used to do, back in the early 1970s, where they would debate which is better, the toilet paper over the top or underneath. And or if you're going to be in a fire and you don't have your socks and your shoes on, do you put on both socks first and then put on your shoes, or do you put on one sock and one shoe? And they would go back and they'd have these fights about what was the right way for you to do that. And that was kind of about nothing.
Oh yeah.
I think, Jerry and his team, they just took it to the nth degree, and so much so that they got tired of it before the audience did. Can you imagine being that guy who's at the top of his game, making all the money that he ever wanted to make, being offered a lot more money to stay on and have, 3 more seasons, and he says, "Nah, I think I'm going to take a break."
And now it's kind of standard operating procedure for shows. They just have a limit. They know how many years they're going to run and without even
Exactly.
thinking about it. So that's kind of interesting how that influenced the whole industry almost.
It parlays some careers into some other really great careers, but then there are other people who take that break and they come back and now they're trying to get that formula going again. And I see that in comedy quite a little. Uh, even folks like, what's his name, Dennis Miller, tried to make the leap from being a comedian to being a political pundit. I at some point we just lost track of him. I don't even know where he is right now, but I loved listening to that man do stand up and interview people. I loved watching him do interviews. So what else about nothing today?
I don't think I wrote anything else down.
If you think about the perfect homeostatic place for people to be, it's not going to be hyper this or hypo that.
Right.
It's going to be in the zone of not measurable.
Or even beyond that, like not even caring that there's, you know what I mean? That measurement is not a part of it. Like all the Zen people that you can picture, when they any they don't, well, the way I've read it too is like you don't treat anything, you don't give anything that much credence by holding on to the really happy points or the really bad points of life. You know what I mean? They're not sustainable, so you might as well just notice them and be aware of them, and that kind of concept, but not to focus on them or stay with one or the other.
The journey is the home.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
and you know that you're, as good as it gets when it doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter that it doesn't matter. You know, the whole notion of being of noticing what's going on outside before you're noticing what's going on inside. I think that would be where I would feel like perhaps that was homeostasis for me in particular. That, from the skin out, I'm observing and participating fully and really engaged in the world with all of that biological stuff. And that's for me is like when time accelerates, when you really are fully engaged with something, and the moment is just so engaging. 3 hours go by. It seems like, well, that was 15 minutes, wasn't it? No.
I remember reading or hearing somebody say too, it's like to be like the room you're in. The room you're in doesn't care what's going on within it. It stays the room. You know what I mean?
And
It's
it doesn't even know it's a room.
just basically right. Exactly. I mean, there's somewhere in between there. You know, or-
It's like, another guy that I used to run around and get trained by when we were on a cruise to Alaska. We did a week-long seminar and training, and he would look wistfully out over, the Mendenhall Glacier, and then there's a mount something or other over here and a mount something over there. But you're in the land of thousands of mountains. It's just mountains as far as you can see when you get up in a helicopter. And so he would point out over on the horizon. He would say, "You see that mountain over there? That mountain has no idea it's not as beautiful as that mountain." And in the it takes a human being, it takes a human being.
yeah.
So, well, I think we're getting pretty close to being dry here. So,
Well, that's perfect timing too.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyway, any thoughts you want to kind of wrap up with, or any thoughts you want to leave with our listeners? And we really appreciate you guys coming by to listen.
I just think being mindful of where you are, in the moment kind of thing, and to try to get back to that center point. It's not easy, but it's a good thing to work towards.
It's interesting. We could do this for another half hour,
Do nothing.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
Ooh.
it looks like it's work. It's because it is. So stop. That's
You
good.
could just be, just be quiet and just sign out. Don't even say anything. Just do nothing for the last minute.
Time for a siesta. Pull that sombrero down over your knees and just kind of nap out for a little while.
Contemplate.
Anyhow, thank you both, Ken and Lisa. Absolutely adore our time together. And I wish you guys the best week ever. And thanks for your energy, and thanks for coming by. And folks at home, we are lighting the candle here, a world that works. We have so many people out there that are really working hard to get to homeostasis. Go tell them to cut it out. Stop working so hard trying to get to homeostasis and just get to homeostasis. All right. Bye-bye for now.
Have a good week.
Bye.
You've been listening to Lighting the Candle, a world that works, part of the Exvadio Podcast Network. You can catch us each week, as well as the rest of the network, at exvadio.com/podcasts, as well as the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Audible, Amazon Music, and wherever you find podcasts.